Okay, I want you to picture something. You have to travel 1,000 miles. It's a huge journey. And you've got two options. Option A is a bicycle.
Okay.
It's a good bike, sure, but you're doing all the work. You're pedaling, you're fighting the wind, the rain. You're going to be exhausted. You might get there in, what, a few weeks? Maybe.
That's pretty rough.
Or option B, I give you the keys to a high-performance sports car. You just get in, turn the key, and go.
Well, I think I know where this is going, but
Yeah.
I'm taking the car, obviously.
Exactly. It's the only rational choice. But here's the thing that Brian Tracy points out, and this is the idea that really, it just messed with my head.
Go on.
He argues that most of us in our actual lives are completely addicted to the bicycle. We're just pedaling furiously, sweating, exhausting ourselves, and totally ignoring the car sitting right there with the keys in it.
It's such a powerful image, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Because we've been taught to equate hard work and struggle with progress. But Tracy's saying the difference between the bike and the car. Well, that's the difference between letting life happen to you and practicing what he calls personal strategic planning.
And that is exactly what we're getting into today. Welcome back. This is episode 5 of our deep dive into Focal Point by Brian Tracy. And today we are talking about applying the kind of high-level strategy that corporations use and applying it to us, to you.
Right. And I think it's important to say right up front what this personal strategic planning thing even is, because it sounds a little cold, doesn't it?
It does. It sounds corporate and rigid, like I need a board of directors meeting to plan my weekend.
Yeah, I had the same thought. But it's really the opposite. It's about freedom. Tracy just defines it as a systematic way of thinking and acting. It's a skill you learn.
It's not a talent you're born with.
Exactly. It's the car, in your analogy. And the goal isn't to make your life rigid. It's to get a higher return on energy. To use that 80-20 rule, to stop pedaling so hard on stuff that doesn't matter so you can just cruise on the things that do.
Okay, so before we dive into the how, and we've got a specific list of questions to get through, how do you know when you need this? Is there like a check engine light for your life?
There is. And you probably felt it. Tracy says the signal is frustration.
Frustration.
Or dissatisfaction. Think about it. When you feel frustrated, it's a Tuesday afternoon, you're totally overwhelmed. What do you normally do?
Me? I just assume it's a bad day. I drink more coffee, or I just grit my teeth and try to pedal harder.
You pedal harder.
Blech.
We all do. But what Tracy argues is that frustration isn't just a bad mood you have to push through.
Okay.
It's a data point. It is the blinking red light on your dashboard telling you to pull over. It's the signal that your current activities are no longer aligned with your real goals.
Whoa. So instead of I feel bad, it's my system is broken.
Precisely. And to fix that system, he gives us 7 strategic questions. And I should warn you, these sound simple, but they are designed to be a little uncomfortable.
I found them very uncomfortable, especially number 4. But let's start at the beginning. Question 1. What business am I in?
Right. And the trap here is to answer with your job title. You know, I'm in sales, or I'm a graphic designer.
I'm a podcast host.
Exactly. That's the surface level answer. You have to drill down. There's that classic business school example of the railroads.
Oh, yeah.
They thought they were in the railroad business. So when trucks and airplanes came along, they almost went extinct.
Because they weren't in the railroad business, they were in the transportation business.
They were in the business of moving people and goods. If they had known that, they would have bought trucking companies. So for you, listening right now, are you in the answering emails business? Or are you in the solving complex problems business?
That's a huge difference, because I think my job is just answering emails, then an empty inbox feels like a win.
But you could have failed completely at your actual purpose. You're just pedaling a stationary bike. Very efficient, but not effective.
Okay, that makes sense. So that leads right into question 2. What business will I be in if things continue the way they are today?
This is about projecting forward, looking at the trends. You know, with AI, with remote work, with the economy, if you don't change a single thing, will your job, your business, even be relevant in 5 years?
That's the whole boiling frog scenario.
It is. You have to see the cliff coming from 3 miles away so you have time to turn the wheel.
Which brings us to question 3. Who is my customer? And I gotta say, this one might feel a bit weird for someone who isn't in sales, like an engineer or a stay-at-home parent might think, I don't have customers.
But everyone has a customer. A customer is simply anyone whose satisfaction you need to be successful.
Okay, so if I'm a programmer, my customer might be my team lead.
Or the product manager. If you're a CEO, your customer is the board. If you don't know who you're trying to make happy, you can't possibly deliver real value. You might be writing the most beautiful code in the world, but if your customer, your team lead, needs speed over perfection, then you're failing.
You're selling a bicycle to someone who wants a car.
Exactly. It's all about alignment.
Okay, now for question 4. This is the one where I literally wrote ouch in my notes.
Ah, yes. The core competencies question. What do I do especially well?
And it's not just, listing your skills. Tracy drops a hammer here. He says you're only successful to the degree that you become excellent at the most important part of your work. And then he sets a target, the top 10%.
It's a very high bar.
Is it too high, though? I mean, let's be real. Not everyone can be in the top 10%. That's just math. Is this just motivational hype?
That's a fair question.
Yeah.
But think about the 80-20 rule again. The top 20% of people in any field earn 80% of the rewards.
Right.
But the top 10%, the curve goes almost vertical. Tracy's point isn't that you need to be in the top 10% of everything. You can't be a top 10% chef and a top 10% coder and a top 10% parent.
That would just lead to a complete breakdown.
Of course. The strategy is to identify the one key skill, your core competency, that actually moves the needle for you, and then focus all your energy on getting into the top 10% of that.
So it's about going deep, not wide.
Precisely. You have to ask yourself, what is the one skill that if I developed it and did it in an excellent fashion would have the greatest positive impact on my life? Find that one thing.
And if you're just average at it, you're stuck in traffic. But the top 10% is the express lane.
That's the idea.
Okay, question 5 is another look at the 80-20 rule, so we'll skip the deep dive on that one. But question 6, this one connects right back to our car analogy.
It does. What are the critical constraints on my ability to achieve my goals?
The choke point, the bottleneck.
Right. Between where you are now and where you want to go, there's always a constraint. Something is stopping you from doubling your income or losing 20 pounds. The speed of your success is basically set by how tight that bottleneck is.
And this is where I usually let myself off the hook. I say, oh, the constraint is the economy, or my boss doesn't get it, or I just don't have enough time.
We all do that. But statistically, those excuses are usually wrong.
What do you mean?
Tracy cites something called the 80-20 rule of constraints. It says that 80% of the reasons you aren't achieving your goal are internal.
Wait, say that again?
80% of what's holding you back is inside you. Only 20% is external, like the market or your boss.
So it's 80% likely that the reason I'm not where I want to be is because of something I'm doing or not doing.
Yes. It's a skill you lack. It's a bad habit. It's a limiting belief. It's your discipline. It's like you're in the car, the engine is running, the road is clear, but you've left the parking brake on. That's the internal constraint.
And we spend all our time yelling at the other cars instead of just reaching down and releasing the brake.
Exactly. And the most successful people are the ones who are just brutal with themselves on this. They always ask, what is it in me that is holding me back?
I guess that's empowering in a scary way. Because I can't control the economy, but I can release the brake.
That's it. It puts the control right back in your hands.
Which brings us to the last one, question 7. What specific action am I going to take immediately?
Because without action, all of this is just a daydream. You have to do something, anything, right now.
So that's the framework. But what really surprised me was where he wants us to apply this. I mean, you hear this stuff and you think career, business, money.
Of course.
But he lays out 7 distinct areas of life.
This is the holistic part,
Yeah.
and it's absolutely crucial. Because if you optimize your career but your health falls apart, well, your career is going to collapse anyway.
Okay, so the areas are business and career, family and personal life, money and investments, health and fitness,
Personal growth, community activities, and finally, spiritual development and inner peace. It's the whole person.
But isn't it a bit weird to apply corporate strategy to your marriage? Honey, I've done a strategic analysis, and you are the choke point in our relationship.
You might want to phrase it a little differently. But think about the alternative. The alternative to planning your relationship is just letting it drift.
Taking it for granted.
And we know what happens to things we take for granted. They fall apart. Strategic planning for your family just means asking, what does our perfect family life look like in 5 years? And what do we need to do today to get there? It's about being intentional.
It's about protecting the important things from all the urgent things that pop up.
Right. And underlying all of this, the questions, the 7 areas, is a concept Tracy calls the law of correspondence.
As within, so without.
That's the one.
I always worry this stuff sounds a bit, ooh, like if I just think happy thoughts, I'll win the lottery.
It's not magic, it's mechanics. I mean, think about it. If your inner world is chaotic and disorganized, what's your time management going to look like?
Terrible. I'll be reactive all day.
And what about your desk or your finances?
A total mess.
The chaos just manifests outwardly. But if your inner world is clear and disciplined and focused, your outer world starts to organize itself to match. You can't build a stable house on a shaky foundation. Personal strategic planning is really just about organizing your inner world first.
So the car we were talking about at the start, the engine is your mind.
Exactly. You can't drive a high-performance life with a clunker of a mindset.
Okay, this has been a lot of theory, the 7 questions, the 7 areas, and I know people listening are thinking, this is great, but I can't go on a 3-day retreat right now to figure all this out.
And you don't have to.
Which is why we always try to boil this down to a micro habit, something you can do today. Tracy gives us a great one. He calls it the magic wand technique.
I love this one. It's so simple. You just pick one area of your life that's frustrating you. Let's say it's your health.
Okay.
Now, you imagine you have a magic wand, you wave it, and suddenly your health is perfect. No constraints, no problems. What is that like? Be specific.
I'm running again without my knee hurting. I have tons of energy in the afternoon.
Great. Now you look at that perfect picture and you work backward. You ask, why don't I have that now? The gap between the vision and reality instantly shows you the real constraint, not the excuses you've been telling yourself.
It shows you the difference between I can't and I won't.
Exactly.
And there's another one he suggests, which is a bit darker, but maybe even more powerful.
The 6 months to live scenario.
Yeah. Ask yourself, if you found out today you had only 6 months left, but you'd be perfectly healthy and had unlimited money for those 6 months, what would you do?
And maybe more importantly, what would you stop doing immediately?
That's the real insight. Would you spend that time worrying about what your neighbor thinks? Or answering those annoying emails?
Definitely not.
So why are you doing it now? It just strips away all the trivial stuff and shows you what you really value.
It's the ultimate reality check. It tells you if you're driving the car towards something you love or just pedaling the bike because you think you're supposed to.
Which really brings us full circle to the power quote for this deep dive.
It really sums up the whole philosophy. Tracy writes, "The quality of your thinking determines the quality of your life."
It's so simple. But when you unpack it, if your thinking is reactive, your life is reactive. If your thinking is strategic,
your life becomes strategic. You can literally upgrade your life just by upgrading the quality of the questions you ask yourself.
So here's the challenge for you listening right now. Tonight, just pick one area, your finances, your health, that project you've been putting off.
And just run it through the process. Ask, what business am I really in here? And ask that scary question. What is it in me that's holding me back?
Find that parking brake and release it.
That's where all the freedom is.
And that is a wrap for episode 5 of our deep dive into Focal Point. I hope you're feeling that momentum, that we're all inching closer to that top 10% version of ourselves.
All about the trajectory.
If you got some value from this, if you're ready to trade in that bike for the car, make sure you like and subscribe. That way you'll get notified about the next episode. We've got more to cover.
See you next time.
Drive safe.